Welcome back to America's Retirement Headquarters, home of the Retirement Guys formula, and America's Medicare Associates. 419-794-3030 is the phone number. The website, americasretirementheadquarters.com. Also, americasmedicareassociates.com. And I wanted to talk about Medicare here because 4 out of 5 people responding to a nationwide survey think that Medicare Part B, which covers doctor's visits and diagnostic services, is free. It is not. Guys, I know that you help people create retirement plans and you take into account healthcare options. You make that a factor. So what does that process look like when you're talking about what people are going to be facing as far as medical expenses?
Well, those numbers are shocking and so very true. 79% of retirees erroneously think that Medicare Part B is free, and it's just not. It's not free at all. But there are, the standard levels. The standard level for Medicare Part B moving into 2023 actually went down $5.20. So that premium actually is $164.90 for Medicare Part B moving into 2023. And a lot of people just don't know that that's the case. They look at these numbers, they come in, they talk to me, and they're like, well, I know I got Medicare Part A and B, but I also have to talk about something else, and that's a supplement or advantage plan, right? And when I go through the cost analysis, I'm a numbers nerd, right? Nolan says that all the time. I'm the same as he is. When I meet with someone that is contemplating retiring and they're 65 or turning 65 or maybe even older, they want to know, how much is that going to cost me? What is my total outlay for healthcare? So I go through the process, and a lot of them say, well, I thought Medicare was free. Medicare Part A is free, providing you have worked and paid into Medicare 40 credit hours, okay? Equivalent to 10 years that you've paid into Medicare. Part A is free, so that they don't have to worry about. But the Medicare Part B has that premium. Now, here's some other staggering numbers. Which a lot of people are not prepared for. I've had a couple of people, actually I've had several people this past AEP run into this issue. There are thresholds for income, and a lot of people don't understand. If you make over a family for 2023 joint return, if you are from 94 to 246,000, then your Medicare Part B premium is $230.80. Okay, so the standard is $164.90. That is up to $194,000 for a family or $97,000 for an individual tax filer. If you make over 97 to 123 as an individual or up to 246 as a family, it's $230.80. And this is a graduated number, right? Because if you get somewhere between 366 and 750, your Part B premium is going to cost you $527 a month. Now that's just for your Part B, okay? The other thing that comes into play is your prescription plan, and your prescription plan is going to cost you an additional $75 up to that high dollar limit, right? So a lot of people look at that and say, so my wife is going to pay the same thing, so I'm looking at a little over $1,100 for Medicare Part B, and then I'm getting this additional bump for prescriptions. I'm paying $1,200 just to sign up for Medicare. Well, this isn't what I thought it was. So there are some little nuances to this. They look back 2 years, so if you go back 2 years and look at your income from 2 years ago, that is what they're basing that number on. So there are situations where I had a farmer that was in here during the AEP, and he knew he was retiring. He had a stockpile of silos full of grain that he was dumping, knowing that he was retiring from farming. He wasn't going to retire or work anymore, right? So he dumped all of that grain. He sold it all off. Well, he had a windfall well in excess of $400,000, which was income. So he gets a bill, and he says, Scott, my bill is like $500 some odd dollars. What's the story with this? So I explained to him, and one of the things I encouraged him to do was you can file an appeal, And, if you sell off your grain like he did, or if you own some rental properties or a big rental property and you sell it off and get a lump sum of $500,000, that's a one-time. That's not your income. That's your one-time windfall. And a lot of times what will happen is Social Security Administration and Medicare will actually reduce that Part B premium back down to the standard, if that's what your income was prior to that. So, a lot of things that people need to be aware of when looking to retire and sign up for Medicare. Medicare Part B is absolutely, definitely not free. It is definitely, there's a cost involved to it, and that does vary depending on your income.
Considered a luxury tax, if you will, for the same amount of benefit. By the way, we've talked about this before. Just because you're paying more doesn't mean that you're getting a Medicare Part B diamond or something like that. So something to take in mind. There is that 2-year look back. So as you're entering into retirement age, as you're entering into Medicare eligibility age, maybe figuring out ways to minimize the income. Again, legally, want to go ahead and put that disclaimer out there.
Exactly.
But looking at maybe tax-free strategies and things like that to mitigate the amount of reported income you have to have. It's all part of the process. And again, it is something that you want to go ahead and start doing prior to the year that you plan on retiring. So no time like the present, literally. Pick up the phone, give a call, and schedule time to speak with the team at America's Retirement Headquarters. 419-794-3030 is that phone number, and americasretirementheadquarters.com is the website.